Well, everyone, thanks for jumping on today. I'm checking out our attendee list, and I have to say it's pretty exciting when I see this number of folks on a Thursday afternoon jumping in to one of our STLP quick shots to learn about digital product online judging today. Thank you for being here. This is a great topic, and I know that a lot of folks are excited about it. I got a little story I can tell you about what it's like at home for me, because I have a son who also is discovering all of the fun activities available through the DPOJ competitions. So let's just get started. I'm going to go ahead and click start for our timer, because this is an STLP quick shot. And as you know, we focus on one topic and give it a 20-minute overview to let you get some information, show you where the resources are, and kind of just generally kickstart you thinking about that category or that resource or that activity. So let's start today with our DPOJ stuff. Obviously, I'm Jeff. If we haven't met yet, looking forward to working with you this year. I appreciate everything that you're doing for students in your school across Kentucky and through STLP. I'm always here to help, but let's focus on what's going to happen. We've got a short time frame to talk about what is DPOJ. Where's all the stuff? We're going to look at where the resources are, what you can access, what your students can access, some tips on getting organized, some important tips about registration. More than any other activity, I think with STLP, registration for DPOJ is so important, and we'll explain why. And then we'll talk about what our next steps are for folks that are ready to get started with DPOJ. So let's just start with the basics. What is DPOJ? So it stands for Digital Product Online Judging. Okay, it's not great. It's terrible. You know, we've said it for years. DPOJ makes no sense to new folks. We needed a new title, and we've been working on a few things. But think about digital products as things that students are creating, they're making, they're demonstrating, learning, using digital tools. The online judging part's pretty straightforward. You submit a link, and we have volunteer judges who will review those links, provide scores. The whole thing happens in the online world, and you theoretically could have some state champions in DPOJ categories awarded at state without ever even leaving the building. So behind the scenes, we've got the focus of all STLP is giving a spotlight so students can show what they can do. It is about vibrant learning experiences. It is about really just putting them up on stage to show off the amazing things that they're doing with the technology and skills that you are providing them at your school. So when we talk, I love this tweet from a couple years ago from Kelly Bockham. She had just finished a training session in Hardin County, and she had realized from working with Miss Brandy New, who's fantastic, that wait a minute, there is a ton of things that my kids are already doing that are the STLP things, and that is 100% accurate, specifically for DPOJ, because DPOJ is going to let you curate and pull from all over your school, from all over your student body, all of your student population. They're making things with digital tools, and DPOJ has so many different categories that there's probably something for everyone. So what are these things that we're talking about? So quick overview, if you're unfamiliar, you're new with STLP, we have three big events, our big three. We have the project cycle, that is about project-based learning. It starts with regionals in the fall. Think about your large-scale science fair at the state championship, where kids are all coming together to share what they've done with their project over the year. That's projects. I mentioned the state championship. That's one of the three. That's an event that we hold in the spring. This year it's April 19th, 2023. in Lexington at Rupp Arena. It's a mixture of all of our project qualifiers that started at regionals coming in for their final round of judging at state. It also has a number of live challenges that students can sign up for in advance and come and do a coding challenge, web design challenge, things that happen live at the event in front of judges. Super fun. There's also lots of hands-on activities and experiences for students who are in between other competitions or are just coming to learn more about STLP. But today we're going to talk about products, the DPOJ Big Three. Kind of hit those, but this is really where it is about student-created digital products. And you got to figure out where all the stuff is, okay? So we're going to spend some time, mostly today, connecting you with the resources that are out there and making sure that you know where they are and what you can take advantage of. Of course, you're going to want to start at the STLP website, which has got tons of resources, sometimes maybe a little bit too much to get you, if you really need to focus in on one thing. For example, if you go to the website today, you would look for the DPOJ header, which would take you into the DPOJ section, or I'm going to give you a quicker shortcut. If you can start with the STLP super sheet, which you can get to by typing in stlp.education.ky.gov, our normal web address /supersheet. A Google search for STLP Supersheet is also kind of quick, but let me pull up the Supersheet just so you can get an idea. Here's a picture of it, but this is it live. So our live Supersheet is a Google sheet that is packed just with access to every activity, every event, every category, and we have them organized by news. And let me blow this up a little bit to make it a little bit easier for you to see. Here we go. Our news section at the top, regionals, and then if you scroll down to this area, you'll see that all of these links through here, 2A, 2B, 2C, this is all STLP DPOJ related activities. So all of our categories are listed right here, category title. See, for example, animation. It talks to you about what kind of event is it. Some of our events are required to be something that be done as a team. Some are required to be individual events. Often, let's be honest, we kind of see a blur between that sometimes, and we love global collaboration. So sometimes these type of events, not the biggest deal if it changes for you individually at your school, but the divisions are pretty straightforward. You can see that that we have through STLP, we typically will have a K through 5, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12 separation of divisions. All of these, so where it says that a DPOJ animation is a K through 12 division, that still means that whatever entries you submit, they'll be scored in those K5, 6, 8, 9, 12 groups, so you don't have a 9th grader competing with the 1st grader. But if you jump over, you'll see that generally speaking, most of the different categories allow for 2 entries per school. Occasionally there is a 1 entry per school limit based on the time it takes to score and give reviews and feedback. But you'll also notice that you have a description for each of the categories that you can do a quick overview of what that means. But you also right here can dive in to any of these rubrics. Okay, these rubrics are fantastic. So let's take a look at digital element design. You can come in, it gives you an overview. You'll again get that K through 12 division, but it lays out exactly for you what judges are going to be doing, what they're looking for. Each rubric is specific to the category. So you're going to want to take time and review each specific rubric for each one. Because some of the angles are a little bit different, but they always give you some ideas on what you should be doing as the STLP coach / coordinator and what the students can be doing to get started. So back here on the super sheet, I won't read through these. You've got a ton of activities to look through that you can check out. But what I do want to share before we get too far into looking at a boring spreadsheet is that we have some folks that have created these awesome slide decks under the DPOJ resources section here. Oh gosh, what is that? Like line 64, line 65. There are a couple of slide decks, and I've got them pulled up for you here already. There's that one, and so here's a great one. This is from the folks, Kelly Fisher in Fayette County. She's a digital learning coach, STLP extraordinaire. She and her partner Emily have been working to help their folks in Fayette County. They shared the slide deck with us, but as you can see, like this is really, it takes you through all of the different categories, and this is really great for students to explore the categories. So you have this link, you can send it to students, and students can, it's almost like a choice board situation, like a choose your own adventure. By clicking on animation, it takes them ahead to the animation slide, which gives them some examples, links them to the rubric, talks about what kind of materials, what kind of resources they'll need to work on the animation. Fantastic, right? And so from animation, we also have augmented reality, which is about students using digital tools to create an augmented reality domain that can be, it's totally wide open. It might be useful for school, for home. It is one of our newer categories. And I got to say, it's pretty exciting what we're seeing folks come up with last year. It was brand new last year. We only had a few entries, but it was really exciting. Book trailer is a giant category that lots of folks love to get into. You know, we have about 25% of our STLP coaches are also the library media specialists for their school, and book trailer is a great way to connect students with literacy and all sorts of reading initiatives in the school. Book trailer, check it out, super great. Digital art. Now you can imagine what digital art is all about. Digital art, students using digital tools to create original works of art, which is important to keep in mind. When we talk about DPOJ, that O, DPOJ is for online judging, but it could also be for original, because everything you do with DPOJ needs to be something that students create from scratch. Okay, it's not a mashup of other people's work. It is them creating from scratch their own digital products, their own entries. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about things like digital element design, which is brand new this year. Digital element design so far think about animated GIFs, that's with a hard G, and think about things where students are using digital tools to bring something to life. Digital music, you can imagine what that is all about. That's using available software to write an original piece of music. Digital storytelling, also a big category. Any combination of music, sound effects to tell an original story. The focus on the story is what it's all about. It's about what's this great story, and the technology is as Kelly put it, the icing on the cake. It really is what separates digital storytelling from just telling a story. Documentary, like we have some feature-length videos that groups have done for the documentary category. E-publishing includes all sorts of ways that you are communicating using digital tools in your building or outside of your building or for other categories. Feature video. Now these are short pieces used to inform or entertain. You might think of a feature video. If you ever watch CBS Sunday Morning, there's a whole lot of short feature videos included in those interviews and focus pieces they do. Logo design, just what you might imagine. A lot of districts and schools incorporate their STLP students in the process of designing the logo for the school or a sports logo. Maybe you're designing your own custom STLP logo. Take advantage of that there. 3D design is brand new and exciting as well. This is using 3D modeling software to create an original piece. We saw some amazing things last year. I know my sixth grade son has been busy working on his own 3D design for this year's competition. Infographic, we'll come back to that one. Kentucky travel, very exciting. manipulated image, taking multiple images and combining them, multiple original images, combining them into a whole new original image. Very cool stuff, and we're seeing some neat things out there as the technology is advancing. Media literacy awareness is a special category that you need to jump into about how students are using media to promote community and peer awareness and identification of misinformation. So this is really a timely category brought to us from our friends at KET Education. Now, Minecraft, let me tell you, the Minecraft theme for this year is Bygone Blocks, and it is about recreating a historical event in Minecraft. It is a massive, wide open prompt for you this year. We cannot wait to see the Minecraft category for DPOJ. Wow, it's one of our biggest, and we love it and look forward to it each year. Multimedia mashup, taking multiple different types of media animation, audio design software, mixing them together. Original photo, actually taking a photo, which almost everyone is walking around with a high quality digital camera in their pocket all the time. So this original photo category gets tons of great entries. Now, original photo essay is using those multiple original photos to tell a story through pictures. It's very fun, and it's a new category. PSA, one of our other video categories, short 30, 60, 15, 30, or 60-second clips. They're very specific, as if you were putting it onto broadcast television in a commercial time slot. So those PSA videos, very creative, lots of great stuff coming out of schools with that. Screen capture tutorial. We saw an explosion in this category specifically during the pandemic when students were actually creating tutorials of how to use tools for learning and then publishing them out to their peers during the pandemic. Screen capture tutorial, lots of great things can be done, particularly on Chromebooks with these. And then, of course, technical writing. We had that literacy piece and authentic writing, and this is where students are actually teaching other students, or their audience doesn't have to be students, could be teachers, could be community, how to use a piece of technology in an efficient way. So I bring these up because it's super, and there is also another great presentation. I won't take you through all of it. This one comes from Franklin County, and it is just as awesome and has just as many resources and links. But I want you to see on that super sheet, you also have a spot where you can go, and if you're looking for samples, you can go and look at last year's digital product state champion. So on our STLP website, so I'll give you the home. So the link is on here, but this takes you to our website for last year's STLP state championship. From here, you can click the champions link right into the digital product champs, and you'll see down here as it loads, we have a spreadsheet of every first place, second place for each grade division, and links to all of last year's champions. So if you're looking for some exemplar pieces, you want kids to be able to just explore, get some inspiration, you'll be able to come here on our champions website and look at everyone that won last year. Now, caveat is these links are hosted back in the home districts where the student is from. So if they've changed the links, you might find a couple of broken links in here. But if you don't, then you're bound to see who our state champs were and understand what some of these different categories were really about. So with the last couple minutes, let's talk about what you should do next if you want to get involved with DPOJ. Number one, I want to take and give a shout out to Miss Adkins in Clark County at Baker Intermediate, who is the STLP coach for my son's STLP, and she actually had the students sit down with the super sheet and go through the categories. They sort of did an exploration on their own to check out the different categories and to see what they were interested in. They looked at the champions and they got super pumped about some different categories. Now, a lesson learned from that was when they got to the super sheet, they found that inadvertently their district had not put the Kentucky Department of Education as an allowed website domain for students in their Google admin domain. So if you find yourself as a coach with students who can't actually get to the STLP resources that we have specifically shared using Google tools to make it accessible, with the intent to make it accessible for students to explore as well. Let your technology department know, put in a help desk request and let them know that we need to add the KDE Google domain to your allow list so that students can access it. It's really very simple. And if you need help with that, let me know, because generally the CIOs and tech departments are ready to jump on that. It's just something that they've overlooked. But get yourself organized. We also have on the super sheet a planning tool, which is a spreadsheet that you can use and start filling in who might be entering which category. It allows you to put in a student name, put in a link to their student work, and you make a copy of it into your Google Drive so that you can access it, update it, and change it all the way up until the registration deadline. And then really it'll be a matter of copying and pasting right into the registration to make it super easy for you. So part of that registration, I just want to share with that, registration will open in December. So we have about a month. It usually opens right after we finish that first round of projects with regionals. When you register, the deadline will be January 18th. I bring this up now because there is a tendency for folks to think, well, we'll work on that later. And then we find out January rolls around. There's a snow day. Next thing you know, there's a lot of folks saying, hey, we need an extension on this deadline. For us to make to organize all these entries, because we literally have thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of entries that come in for DPOJ, organizing it, getting it to judges, getting scores back to you, finding out who's qualified and has advanced their product onto the state championship. To do all that in that short time frame ahead of STLP state championship, we have to get started right away in January. So if you can start thinking about now, DPOJ should be happening now, collecting student work, organizing student work, and sharing that student work, because you'll find on the registration, you don't actually upload a copy of the student work. You simply upload a link, a shared link from Google Drive, usually, that judges will click on and go and open that student work. So having a perfect share option and working through all of the bugs and kinks with that to make sure it's shareable outside of your domain, that it probably is shared from your account, not from a student account. Working on all that now will make that registration deadline in January so much smoother. So what should you do next? What's happening next? If you are interested, you might want to think about jumping into the STLP regionals, which is a different topic. This is about our project cycle. There's still time to register for that. When we're recording this today, it's October 13th, 2022. The deadline for regional registration is not until November 1st, so there's still plenty of time to jump in. If you're not sure, if you think you're ready for regionals, better to reserve a spot now than pool later, because we can't add after the registration deadline. But also now jump into the level up activities. If you're not familiar with level up, it's our badge, it's our fun gamification for STLP. You can earn badges while you're exploring the DPOJ categories simultaneously, which is really a lot of fun and helps also guide students through some different STLP activities. If you find yourself with a group of students in class after school meeting for STLP and I'm not sure what I should even be doing with them, go jump into Level Up, because you're going to find a number of activities that you can engage students with and earn some badges along the way. So again, my name's Jeff. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. We're going to post this video as soon as we wrap up. We'll post this recording on our YouTube channel. Thanks again. I'm looking at the attendee list. Looks like we had about 72 folks joining us today. So that's fantastic. I'm looking through the questions in the Q&A. We've hit all of those answers. If there's something that we missed or something that comes to you later, shoot me an email. I am happy to help. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's quick, it's a lot of stuff, but be thinking about DPOJ now. This is a great way to jump into STLP. Thanks.